The best managers recognize that one-on-one meetings with staff members are key to building a cohesive, well-run team. By one-on-one meetings, we're talking about status update meetings where you and your staff member discuss their progress on assignments as well as any other issues they or you may have. Why? Because staff members are critical to your success, both as individuals and as members of the team. They're constantly evaluating you in terms of how much you care about them, as individuals and as members of the team. Not feeling that you're interested in them can cause them to lose interest in the success of the department. In this episode, we discuss how to demonstrate your interest in them through these regular one-on-one meetings. Hi, I'm Rick Kendall.
And I'm Fred Ball.
Welcome to Management Mastery. The purpose of these podcasts is to share what each of us has learned about good and bad management in our combined over 40 years of experience, both as managers and executive coaches. During that time, we've coached managers at every level in companies from Fortune 100s to brand new startups in all major businesses, including nonprofits, government, and education. So whether you're just starting in your first management position or are an experienced manager looking to strengthen your management skills, we know our podcast will be valuable to you.
As a manager, you should consider the one-on-one meetings as important opportunities to show staff members you value them and place a priority on their growth and success. Depending on the size of your team, you may be able to meet with every person on your staff. For larger teams, you may have to meet with your direct reports and encourage them to do the same. How often you meet should be determined ahead of time, whether it be once a week, every other week, or monthly. Remember, the more members of your staff you can meet with, the better. Each meeting should be held on time, in a quiet place, and with no interruptions. And keep one thing in mind. Rick and I have been saying this over and over again. Respect is critical in the minds of young workers.
I not only second that, but I think it's critical in the mind of all workers, but
It is.
Especially the younger ones, I would agree. Let's talk a minute first about your role as manager before the one-on-one meetings. If possible, you want to try to hold the meetings in person. However, when an in-person meeting isn't possible for whatever reason, it's important to keep a couple of things in mind. In this age of virtual working and remote working, sometimes face-to-face in-person meetings aren't possible with everybody on your staff. So first, research on remote working shows that one of its biggest downsides is that remote workers often feel emotionally as well as physically detached from their work, as well as from the workplace. So it's even more important that you as the manager, stress the importance of the staff member to the department's success and how they're a valued member of the team. And an aspect of this is that you want to have these one-on-one meetings when they're remote, in particular, on a regularly scheduled basis. And I've had conversations with people who are exclusively working remotely, and they say that having a regular, in one person's case, regular weekly meeting, same time, same day, every week, is very important to helping them to feel engaged and an integral part of the operation. And this feeling of detachment among remote workers in particular makes it even more important that you take care of the visual aspects of the meeting. So you want to try to ensure that you look professional and that there are no distractions, so that you demonstrate to the remote staff person that you're 100% focused on them in this meeting. This is also very often overlooked, and that is if at all possible, preview how you look on the video, how your employee is seeing you on their screen, because so often there's distracting backgrounds, or there's a bright light behind the person, so you can't even see their face. So it's very important that you check out, and most programs have an ability, give you the ability to see what you look like but you want to do this before you start the meeting, so that you know what you're looking like, and it shows that you're paying attention to this meeting. And these things all can unintentionally communicate, if you don't take care of them, that you're not really interested in the person. So, and for more information about virtual communication at work or working remotely, listen to our June 25th, that's June 25th of this year, podcast on remote work.
Whether you're meeting in person or remotely, when beginning one-on-one meetings, it's important to stress to your staff person that the purpose is for them to keep you up to date about how they're doing in all aspects of their work, including any concerns they may have. It's important to emphasize that the meeting is for information sharing and isn't about micromanaging. An agenda can also be helpful, and what we want to do is to make sure that we're not creating additional work for you. So one of the easiest ways to have an agenda is to start with any action items from the last meeting. And if notes have been put out regarding the last meeting, you can just use them and add any items that you want to. Now let's talk about your role during the staff meeting. Start the meeting by showing that you're interested in the staff member. Ask them how they are, how they're doing. With some people, it'll be a little bit more about personal things. With others, they are not going to want to get as much into personal things. But rapport building is a crucial first step in the meeting.
Yeah, and you want to encourage the staff member to lead that portion of the meeting that has to do with their work, including any needs or concerns they may have. So, encourage them to take the lead on that. And in that process, you want to have an internal goal that you want the staff member to talk at least half of the time. Remember, they're telling you about what they're doing and what they need and that sort of thing. So it should be you listening, maybe asking a question or two, but encouraging them to tell you what's going on without, as Fred said, without coming across as being micromanaged. You're asking questions like, what are you working on now, versus challenging questions like, why are you doing that? So you're just trying to encourage and understand exactly what they're working on.
I think that's a really important point that you made about talking, having them talk more than 50% of the time. I think that will be the sign of a good meeting. Then you want to facilitate the meeting by listening attentively and actively, by asking good questions, and after the staff member responds, to ask follow-up questions, just as Rick was pointing out. You want to contribute your point of view where you feel it's needed or asked for. But keep in mind, the primary purpose of the meeting is to keep you informed and involved in a collaborative way, and not to micromanage.
Yeah, I mean, again, you want to offer support and help when appropriate, so that the staff member can achieve their short and long-term success. And that's what this is all about. And you want to reinforce the values of what you're trying to achieve, and be flexible, and understand that the conversation may move organically and not flow in a logical manner. So you're really there. And again, if you're doing this on a regular basis, which you should be, even if they're in-person meetings, it's to really keep in touch. So while you may, we've talked about you having an agenda, you don't have to be slavishly following that. Those are just topics you probably both want to cover.
You want to make sure that you provide coaching, and in the way that we've been talking about this meeting, do it caringly, so that if the person, hopefully the person might say, I need a little bit of help in this area. If you've noticed something that you need to talk about, you just need to do it in a caring manner, so the person understands that you are helping them to achieve success moving forward. You also want to ask what you, the manager, can be doing to make the one-on-one meetings better. Along the way, some of your staff members may have suggestions that can make the meetings better. As the meeting ends, you want to clarify takeaways and action items for both parties, including how you'll support the next steps. You want to agree on a list of action items that come out of the meeting. Show gratitude and appreciation for your staff members' time, and stop the meeting on the agreed schedule.
Yeah, don't let it drag on. That's for sure. And it's important that you make the staff member's role in the meeting clear at the first meeting, and reinforce it as you need to. They need to be prepared to actively engage regarding process, and they need to lead the meeting with their key priorities first, and then about the successes they're having, any problems with achieving their goals, and any issues that they may face down the road, and how they may attack them. So, and as we're talking about asking questions, it's very important that you keep asking questions along the lines of, what can I do to help? Do you need any help? Are there any other resources I can provide? So you want to constantly reinforce the idea that you're there as a resource for them, and not as a micromanager, as we've already said.
Yes, the staff member should be encouraged to communicate clearly and openly, and be willing to make suggestions as to how to improve operations, even if that is not the way that you've been doing the operations up until this point. They need to be able to speak their mind. As manager, your goal is to get them to show that they're thinking deeply about problems and solutions.
Right, and as we both said, it's so important that you communicate the openness to hearing new ideas, different approaches, and that there's no penalty for raising problems, asking for help, etc. That openness is so important. And along those lines, you want to encourage them to ask for coaching when there's an opportunity for them to develop or learn new skills, and for them to feel free to ask for mentoring that'll prepare them for future assignments. Sometimes I've experienced this myself, where people are reluctant to ask the boss for career development mentoring, because they think the boss will think, they're looking for another job, or they just want to find another job. No, that shows that you have their development and growth top of mind, and want to encourage it. And that's so important.
In this episode, we discussed the importance of holding one-on-one meetings with members of your staff. The meetings will help you to build your relationship with the individual, understand where they stand on business progress, give you clues as to how to best align the members of your team, and to assess progress toward department goals. The meeting should be held on time, in a quiet place, and with no interruptions, to show respect to the staff member.
We hope you have found this podcast useful, and will come back again for more management mastery. If you have any comments about this or any of our episodes, or would like to find out more about our other services, including one-on-one coaching and group seminars for managers, visit our website at careercoachclass.com. Thanks for listening.